What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with another... I can't even remember what my intro is. I'm back with some more Age Mythology, the Titans action. Sporting on the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Shadowfaxx. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Mage. The map is Tundra. And these are just some randomly ladder games that these guys have played. Oftentimes, people play 1 or 2 games, can go 1-1, can go 2-0. So it's not best of 3, it's not best of 5 or anything. It's just a couple of games getting played. We've got 2 games here for you in this series. So we'll see who takes this one. And we've got what a lot of people would argue on Voobly, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat here, 2 of the worst gods for patch 5.0. Is that correct, would you say? Do you guys say Zeus and Ra are 2 of the worst gods on patch 5.0? No one cares? That's fair enough. But yes, Shadowfaxx is Zeus. Oh, Schlarky says yes, 100%, and No Atlantis says Zeus is fine. We'll see. Maybe YouTube comments, you can tell us whether you think that these gods are busted or not busted, you know? We'll see. I mean, yes, Ra did have an incredibly low win rate in Voobly Champions League, but an incredibly high pick rate. What do you reckon that means? People... Super says both top half with the 11, which is laughing at me. He's laughing at me. Nah. Alrighty. So, normally in these matchups, in the Greek versus Egyptian kind of meta here on Voobly, what is tending to happen is 2 town center, 3 town center Greek against 2 town center, later 3rd town center Egyptian, and then walls, and then walls, and then walls, and then walls, and then get to the late game, and then try and win with either rock drops, Titan, Wonder, you know, etc., etc. Timing push. There's a big heroic age timing push or mythic age timing push that Ra can do to clear up the Zeus player using shifting sands in tandem with tornado. Is very, very good. If the Greek player decides to be greedy and go for Athena, you can definitely hold, and you can hold on to shifting sands. If you get all of that in there, then man, tornado shifting sands combos can be absolutely brutal. But honestly, it all comes down to who gets all the map control first and who can hold on to it for the longest. And we'll see how this game's going to go as the villagers coming over here onto the wood line. Mage throwing up his temple. Villagers grabbing all of the food. So far, he's got 8 villagers on food, 3 villagers on wood, and 3 villagers on gold. As the wall segment's coming up here, doing their thing. You got the Fetters of Fenrir over here, as well as the Bow of Artemis. This is such a good relic here. It gives you minus wood cost on centaurs as well as archers, as Toxotes, but just grabbing that one for the Toxotes here for the middle game or late game for Shadowfaxx will be huge. And if Mage could grab it, he somehow sends a unit over there to grab that. It would be fantastic for his chariot archers. So we'll see. We've got some remove Atlantean chants in the chat here, so we can talk about Atlantean for a little bit. I think Atlantean could do with I've mentioned before, but why don't you just make Atlantean villages normal villages? Keep the mechanic of not having them drop off. Remove the mana garrison thing. Boom. That'd be fantastic. That way you can raid Atlantean. Right? Santos agrees. You make Atlantean villages 1 pop villages that gather at the same rate as otherwise, and you get rid of garrisoning in manors. And then you go, wow, now the Civ is a little bit tougher to play. A little bit more macro intense. A little bit more like Age Mythology was designed. Shadowfaxx does decide to greed through Athena, though. He's throwing up an immediate stable here, so not going for an immediate second town center.
Enito.
So we'll see how this is going to go. Usually using the Hippocon here early to set up walls is really, really smart if he's what he's going for. He's getting the town center up though. It's a bit of a strange decision here from Shadowfaxx. Maybe he just didn't have the gold to get this up. But the town center's going up anyways. And the Odysseus will come through. A lot of the time here, Ra players can't even get their second town center up, as we're seeing this kind of issue for Mage. He's going to have to sit one town center and rain in his base. Unless he wants to rush this up. The Katoska boss is already over here checking out a second town center for Mage. We see him having even just town bell there to make sure this is coming through. And Shadoof is on the way now for Mage. Seems like it's just a little bit late, but he's going to have all the gold in the world to get the rain, to get the big economic jump there. The Odysseus coming out here for Shadowfaxx. We'll see what he's going to do. One thing you probably can do with this Minotaur early is just kill these Arctic Wolves in places where you want to wall, because these are very difficult to wall if you don't pick them off. And then he just wants to throw up all of these walls over here and just try and choke Mage in, basically. So there's the farms, and you can see that Mage has got nothing here that he can do to stop walls at this part of the game. And Shadowfaxx has got a little bit of gold in the bank. It's something you can try. We'll get this villager over here. I'm not sure what he's doing, and there's the walls. Little bit on the defensive side of things. Like, I don't hate it, but I think that a wall here is just perfect. It does what this wall does, and this one. But this basically just shows the intention of this game, how Shadowfaxx wants to play this game. So Mage is going to have to get a lot of damage done, as he's going for a second town center now, as it looks like Shadowfaxx has just pulled back his Odysseus. But Mage is probably going to the next stage. No, not yet. A little bit short on the gold to get to the next stage, but he will have that by the time the 800 food comes in. So interesting little adaptation here for Mage, as he's realizing that Shadowfaxx isn't preventing that town center now. But this wall is up. And we got more walls coming over here. I don't hate that this is what's happening. I would throw these up much, much later. So take the forward map control and then you start throwing these walls up on the way back. And all of the choke points is kind of what makes the most sense to me at the very least, instead of expanding outwards. Because technically one of the AOM concepts basically that the top players are using is when you have map control, or when you have the advantage, you take map control. You take more of the map. So Zeus has the map control early here. Greek in general has the map control early against Ra. So there's nothing that they can do to stop a wall this far forward, for example. A wall this far forward. And it does take a little bit longer for the villager to walk up here, but you can get all of this done. And then you can just slowly move backwards with those villagers and just take all of these choke points and make it really, really tough for the Ra player to really get any sort of raids with the units if they're not using a rock, is the general idea. But we've got stables coming up here for Shadowfaxx. And there's the rock coming out for Mage. Unfortunately for Ra players here, or fortunately for players going up against Ra, this rock moves so very, very slowly. So you have to be really, really sneaky with it if you want to use it to raid with the Batsukos. Now, I mean really sneaky. You have to make sure your opponent doesn't see where it's going. So if they do see where it's going, like for example, if this Kadoskopos spots the rock coming over here, then that means the Odysseus will be planted in the line of where this is going to go and then be able to snipe the rock down, because the Odysseus has 4.3 speed compared to the rock, which has 4.00 speed. So very hard to run the rock away from an Odysseus on 5.0. And the other thing that was happening a lot in 4.0 is that Ra players were getting off locusts very, very, very easily. And they were sending that initial rock in with the Patsukos. Locusts would come down onto some villages, and basically all the villagers would die because the Patsukos would drop and kill off all the low HP villages that the locust didn't manage to finish off itself. We are seeing the rock now coming through the middle of the map here, and we'll see, will Shadowfaxx be ready for it? Here's Odysseus is firmly planted in the middle of the map to react, and he's got good line of sight up here with the Minotaur. As the rock flying in, and Odysseus here will spot the Patsukos, but immediately has to run back here. And Shadowfaxx goes for a very, very early Apollo here. Instead of going mass Hippocon, very, very early Heroic Age. I wonder if he's going to go for a very early Mythic Age here as well. As most of the walls are up, he's pretty much safe here. This villager looks like he might get picked up, but should be able to run away. There's a little bit of a gap over here he's going to have to sort out. Is there a marketer? No, he's gone for a third town center. This is confusing to say the very least. At least in terms of what would make sense to me. But maybe he just wants to get Prodromus out here. That's why he goes early Heroic Age. But into the third town center is interesting. But there's the Locust, and there's the Bolt, and only 3 villager kills here. So underwhelming Locust from Mage. Only taking down 3 villagers, but does get the Bolt out of here, which means the Son of Osiris is going to live for just a little bit longer. Looks like these units here for Mage are a little bit sad here fighting off against the Myth units, but Odysseus might be able to pick this off. No, Odysseus is going to continuously bump into the Manticore, and the rock will run away. Feels bad. Now, Mage moving forward. Villagers moving forward onto the settlement here. And Hippocon going to be coming forward and see what they can pick off. We've got some random Prodromus over here as the third town center for Mages coming up. Shadowfaxx getting his own third town center here. We'll see how this goes. Maybe the Hippocon can take this down. He does have restoration here as well. Just going to go straight for the villagers. Take the damage from the Migdol stronghold. But that splash damage work on villagers as well. Man, the splash damage from a Manticore is actually not that bad. Nice little garrison micro here from the Pharaoh to take out the Manticore. Smart play there, but a lot of damage now happening onto Mage's economy as he's having to retreat away. Shadowfaxx in a very, very good position here. But he's very short on food. He's got 30 villagers on food right now. Not sure. Oh, they're all over here on the Aurochs. Needs a lot more wood income in order to start those farms. It'll always be tough for the Zeus player to get those farms to sort of pop up in time. Let's just check out those economic upgrades. We see a bunch of these villagers moving over to wood now. And the economic upgrades are kind of non-existent here for Shadowfaxx. He's got the archaic upgrades, but none of the big ones like Shaft Mine. There's the restoration on next to no units here for Shadowfaxx, but keeps his Minotaur alive for a hot second. Chariot Archers here. The micro from Shadowfaxx pulling his Hippocon back. Just classic abusive micro. Very little that the Chariot Archers can do against speedy cavalry. Always need to have a lot of micro going on. Siege works coming up for Mage. We've got the Migdol stronghold coming up for Mage as well. He does have a very safe gold mine over here as well, and the trade route. Is it started? Yeah, the trade is started for Mage. He's got a lot of villagers on food here. 32 villagers on food, and they're probably all on farms, right? Pretty much. So he's going to be getting a lot of camel caravans and be very set up here. So Shadowfaxx is not really going to be able to end the game here. It looks like he's going to be going for the Mythic Age. Probably through Hephaestus. It looks like he's randomly clicking on the town center there. There's no way that that's going to work. Has to pull back. Generally speaking, if you're looking to fight the Egyptian army here with cavalry army as Greek, you kind of need heavy cavalry. And because Shadowfaxx doesn't have that, he's finding it difficult to push through these beefy Migdol units. We'll see how that's going to happen here. Hippocon coming in, gonna try and jab down these cavalry. So they're running around doing their thing. And Shadowfaxx should be able to click up now. We'll see if he wants to spend the resources. We'll just sit on. Oh, he doesn't have a market. a classic. There's the market there, perfectly placed. Yes, yeah, walls up and everything, and Hephaestus is the god of choice. Already with nearly 90 favor in the bank. Chariot Archer's looking to come in and snipe these villagers on the temples here. And do we have a fortified town centers coming through? No. And do we have a Mythic Age for Mage coming through? Yes, there's the Osiris. So no attempt for Mage to go for the Tornado Shifting Sands game-ending play. So the way that you sort of do it is you hit this town center with your army with siege towers. You tornado this town center. Oh, sorry, you tornado this town center. You hit this town center with your army and villages. And then once the army's here, you shifting sands over here. And you take down that town center and build everything up. You sort of need to be able to take out this town center. It's kind of tough. Maybe if you push in over here, force the units over on this location, tornado here, and then shifting sands here is an option. And that way you can take this location with towers and everything. But we've got a standard Osiris here for Mage. He's got his trade route set up fairly decently. Already putting up to stone walls. The map isn't really walled up very well for Shadowfaxx here. So Mage can take all of this location over here if he wants. He can take this location all the way up to where Shadowfaxx is walled. And he hasn't really taken advantage of that just yet. More walls coming up over here. We've got those cavalry units coming through. There's the Hephaestus. So Shadowfaxx can immediately grab himself a Forge of Olympus, you would assume. As the Plenty Vault is down. Taking his time on that one though. Now the Hippocon coming in. We'll be trying to slice through some of these heavy chariots. Still not buying Forge of Olympus. I mean, it's just focusing on the micro, I guess. There it is. This does take 30 seconds to upgrade, so you want to grab that one as fast as you can. Because then you will have to wait the minute or so for everything else to come through. Like, this is 30 seconds, and this is 40 seconds, and this is 50 seconds. So the longer you wait, the harder it is. But there's the Pharaoh there needs to get a little bit of healing back up, and the Mummy can come in and snipe down this Colossus. But Shadowfaxx does spot that, going to be pulling the Colossus back. He's got his fortress up, and the Pegasus is going to be looking for an underworld passage here. Could definitely come in and cut this trade off brutally here with an underworld passage here. We'll see if that's what he's going to go for. The mercenary cavalry starting to come out for Mage. And the other thing is that this trade route's really hard to defend here. So an underworld here will easily cut this off very far away from the town centers for the mercenary. You can always go for a short trade route from this corner to the hometown center, but that's always sad. Now Forge of Olympus is finished. Son of Osiris coming through here for Mage. And there's the upgrades there for Shadowfaxx. We got Bellerophon searching here. Not sure what he's doing. Looking for some snipes on villagers. It's such a sad... Bellerophon is in such a sad state here with 15 seconds on this jump time. I feel like the nerf was justified, but I feel like 10 seconds is probably the good number. But now we see the underworld passage coming in over here onto this location. The Colossus is going to take down this Migdol stronghold very, very fast. But there is a Son of Osiris here. This is probably too early of an underworld here for Shadowfaxx. He needs to take down the Son of Osiris if he wants to really be able to make this push work. Some villagers coming in here as well. He's going to be looking to get some something happening here. The Heliopolis could get some damage done, but it's looking like now Shadowfaxx has to retreat back. He's starting to push forward over here. He has managed to distract the majority of the army here over onto this location. So he can push in on the front town center now, but pushing a town center against Egyptian is very, very tough. You get those mercenary, it's very, very good. The mercenary cavalry over here to snipe one of those Petropolis here. At this point, you don't really want to make Petropolis unless you got the walls. Heliopolis are generally better because they will stay alive for longer. Bellerophon back in. Jump onto the catapult. Oh. Catapult goes down. I'm starting to see those Myrmidon coming through now for Shadowfaxx. These Myrmidon are super underutilized here. At least I think. If you can get essentially the strongest, pretty much the strongest army for Greek, for Zeus, is like Myrmidon Heliopolis, if I can remember correctly. Myrmidon Heliopolis. Because like the Axemen will come through to try and take down the Myrmidon, but then the Heliopolis will just completely kill them very, very quickly because they deal so much pierce damage, and the Axemen have such low pierce armor, and the Axemen can't really take down the Heliopolis, so you kind of have to go like Axemen Spearmen or something like that. It is a lot of resources to get going, and you need a lot of fortresses to get the Heliopolis out. Son of Osiris still causing a lot of issues here for Shadowfaxx with the 344 HP that's remaining. We've got some rock raids coming over here, hitting the gold mine of Shadowfaxx, but he's got a safe gold mine over here at the moment. He's trying to spam out those trade caravans. He does have that plenty vault to help out a lot. More of these Myrmidons coming in. We've almost got full armor upgrades here for Shadowfaxx. He doesn't have the iron shields just yet. Mage very low on the upgrades as well. Got the Peltast. Such a memey unit. I get so sad when I see Peltast. Look at when they start attacking the mercenary cavalry, it's like every time they throw an arrow, they're doing like negative damage. Not that it's like the mercenary cavalry will die before 4 Peltast could kill it. Like, crazy. Chariot Archers still getting a lot of damage. We do have guard towers up for Shadowfaxx though. Champion Hippocon should be able to come in and clean these up. Lots of low HP chariots over here. This rock just chilling with no HP. We'll see if Bellerophon can come in and help out. Take down the Son of Osiris a peg. What's the damage this jump? It's 100 hack damage. So it's every time you jump onto that Son of Osiris, you're doing 50 damage. So if you can keep Bellerophon alive and just jump onto the Son of Osiris every time, you can get a lot of damage done. For sure. Shadowfaxx is kind of... His military units kind of just all over the place here, trying to chase down these chariot archers. He's going to manage to pick those off. Got a random siege works coming up here for Mage. This entire area here is open for buildings. And I feel like Shadowfaxx should take advantage of that. Or Mage should take advantage of that. Both players have got that option at this point. Bellerophon jumping in here. Unfortunately missed that Son of Osiris. But the jabs from the Bellerophon are... That's a lot of damage. He's not a useless unit, really. It's just he's a sad unit. His jumps just take so long to recharge. He just jump in, tries to take down the catapult. Son of Osiris coming back up whenever the Bellerophon jump is on cooldown. He could grab Temple of Healing as well and heal this back up. It's a lot more micro to keep it alive, but... Up! Ouch. 94 HP left on the Son of Osiris here. Catapult does go down here. Still got raids coming in onto Shadowfaxx, but he will be able to deal with those as he's starting to throw guard towers up, making sure he can hold on to this location. Some villagers coming over here, throw barracks up. Looks like Bellerophon has been slain yet again. And our cheeky little spam war here. Now Shadowfaxx, he does have auto queue on some buildings, but oftentimes he manually queues his units out so that he can easily get upgrades and stuff. And that just means if you forget to build units for a hot second, it can be tough. The Son of Osiris is still very, very alive, but where's Bellerophon? I swear I just heard him get built, but maybe that was just a Jason or an Odysseus. And Mage is holding on nicely here so far, and we haven't really talked about it, but like Osiris versus Hephaestus, Ra versus Zeus, is kind of equal. Kind of. Oh, there's the Bellerophon. Ah. It is kind of equal. Unless the Zeus play can get out a ton of Heliopolis and Myrmidon, then it's a bit tough to hold on, but generally speaking, that's a bit tough to do it all. And we got these walls coming up again. He's got masons, but no stone walls. Stone walls is such a big upgrade. Gives 600 HP, doubles the HP of the walls. Plus gives them hack armor, I think. Yeah. Gives them an extra 10%. Vulnerability. Sorry, less 10% vulnerability to hack. So hack damage does 10% less. If that makes sense. Shadowfaxx just slowly getting these upgrades. Still only medium infantry here. Definitely want to think about getting up to champion infantry and champion Toxotes if you can. But same thing for Mage, only heavy chariots here. Mercenary cavalry just building on loop. Son of Osiris gets garrisoned yet again. Mage just kept the Son of Osiris alive for a lot longer than I do, that's for sure. Guard tower getting sieged down here. Starting to see Shadowfaxx wanting to come over and hit this location. He takes down the wall. But he needs to sneak villagers through here, and this double wall here has been annoying. If he picks off this, he could move villagers in and get some barracks down in this location. Got the Bellerophon making his way in here. He can start jumping on these villages, preventing towers and stuff from going up. One of the best raiders in the game here with 32 damage. Meanwhile, Stone Walls has come up now for Shadowfaxx as well as the heavy infantry. And he's starting to get pushed in onto this location here. So both players might trade corners. Yeah, losing these markets is going to be pretty... Yeah, you lose 2 markets. Why not build 6? It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. They're free after all, so just throw them down. Why not? Shadowfaxx does lose a random house though, so that's why you don't build houses in the middle of nowhere. But now we got engineers coming through. That gives an extra couple of range to the Petropolis. We can shoot from very far away. At this point, you could use this time to throw these walls up and get the Petropolis sieging on the town center here. Shadowfaxx has got not very much gold in the bank though, so he doesn't really want to take the villagers off gold. You can definitely take them off food. Move forward. He's throwing up more guard towers here. Sometimes I think guard towers first, then walls, and other times I think walls and then guard towers. And I feel like this is one of those walls and then guard towers situations. The market's coming back up for Mage. He's literally just building them all with 12 villages. Fair enough. But yeah, these Petropolis do a lot of damage, but not if they die. So the guard towers help out a lot. If you can get them up. He does have quite a few of them. A very spammy game here as the Toxotes doing a lot of help here. Champion Myrmidon have come through now. Heliopolis Myrmidon. We'll see it in action maybe. It costs a lot of resources to get them out though. 500 resources for Heliopolis. A lot. But it's a 5-pop unit though. When you compare it to the Myrmidon. What's the Myrmidon? 120? So, a lot more than the Myrmidon. The Hoplite though, 90, 180, 245 or something. It looks like the town center here does fall. This Mage is getting pushed back. Is there any attempt to play around this for Mage, as Shadowfaxx looks like he's finally getting a little bit of an advantage here. Villagers moving forward, throwing up the guard towers in the face here of Mage. These Heliopolis just can push in so nicely. Looks like the Pegasus does fall over here. I think there's still a shifting sands, right? There is still a shifting sand. So you could try for Titan here and then shifting and have the rock flying overhead here and then wait for your opponent to put their Titan gate down and then move the rock in, then shifting sands a bunch of siege towers or catapults in. And then you get a Titan, your opponent doesn't, which isn't a win against Zeus, because Zeus can just go Heliopolis, Bellerophon, or Heliopolis heroes and chase the Titan around. See the Pharaoh, I'm pretty sure Bellerophon one hits a normal villager. 100 hack damage with, what is it, 25%? 30, yeah, 25%. So he does 75 damage to a regular villager, but he can't one-hit laborers. Oh, with Skin of the Rhino. Very sad. Now, Shadowfaxx still putting these towers up. He's still a ways away from taking this back because the mercenary just can get spammed non-stop here. And potentially Shadowfaxx is, well, over-economized here. Too many villagers. He's fully upgraded. Probably doesn't need that many, or just needs to send a bunch more forward to get the towers up. The more Myrmidon coming in here. The Myrmidon is so good against these mercenary. The mercenary still have decent stats, even though they were nerfed to all craziness. His mercenary infantry with nearly 60% hack armor. It's basically exactly the same as the Myrmidon. How much HP do they have? 100 and something? Versus 159? 110 versus 159. They cost less resources as well. Super unit. Super unit. No bonuses though. Only 15.2 damage. Myrmidon have 18 damage and do an extra 50%, so it's actually more like 27 damage per second. But the towers are all up here for Mage. This is going to be a tough one for Shadowfaxx to break through if he just can't get... Well, there's the Colossus, though. Ready to get some of those big units in. Oh, only mercenary cavalry will know. Ah. They're still beastly with the 247 HP in the late game. The Mage is defending this very, very nicely for the time being. He may actually get this town center back. But like Shadowfaxx can just concentrate everything on this location here. And now we're seeing more villagers coming in here. How many trade caravans? You should have roughly 20. Maybe just a few more than 20. Yeah, 25 is about right. So he doesn't need any villagers on gold anymore. Which means you can cut about 25 villagers from resources. So you can see he's got 18 on food, 32 on gold. Sorry, 32 on wood. You probably want about 25 on food if you're making Myrmidon. 32 on gold's about right. 25 villagers on food. And the rest of your villagers can be just like still building them, but build them and send them forward to build towers and build buildings and stuff. You just don't need them on resources. We're starting to see that now Mage is starting to stabilize a little bit. Going for this town center. The Bellerophon jumping straight in, trying to take Reneb the second out, and does manage to do so. Where's Shadowfaxx going now? He's changing the course here. He's going after all these markets that Mage built. Little does he know. Market, 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 market. There's a billion markets here. But it doesn't look like Shadowfaxx can stop this town center from coming back up. So Mage is going to get that one back up here. Wild. Wild. And Bellerophon retreating back. Do we have that Temple of Healing? Nope. 12 HP, 6 HP, dead. So sad. It's one of those upgrades which you always forget about. I forget about it every time I play Zeus as well. But like when I watch the games, I'm like, oh, it could be good now. It could be so good now. I think it's one of the fastest healing things in the game as well, right? What does it go at? Yeah, 20 HP a second to all units compared to what's a Pharaoh? Let's just check a priest. Heals for 7.5. The Temple of Healing is actually really, really good. Now Mage is making a lot of progress over here, but looks like the markets will finally get taken down. And Mage only just reacting to it with the market over here. Doesn't have any markets in this corner. The Mage gets his town center back. Never give up, never surrender. And now Mage is starting to get those upgrades. He's got full champion upgrades now. Champion Axeman, Champion Chariots. We're starting to see Prodromus coming in here for some reason. Shadowfaxx with a lot of resources in the bank. It's the healing stack per temple. No, you can't heal more than one unit at once, right? Is it... I think that might be a little bit misleading what the text says there. So I'm pretty sure you can only heal one unit at a time with the Temple of Healing. If you could heal more than one unit at a time, then I assume that multiple temples would stack. I think that Healing Spring stacks, but I could be wrong. We can test that up. Let you guys know later. Or maybe you could test it for me now. But now it looks like Mage is making some real good push here. Mage has even got out the champion elephants while this is all going on. We've got these Heliopolis just going to town on the side build here of a Mage. We've got the walls coming up over here for Shadowfaxx as well. The question really is, can this town center get taken down, and can Mage secure this location over here? Because Mage can just put a market over here and keep the trade going. He needs to take down these Heliopolis over here. The Myrmidon just do so much damage to the villagers. We'll see how it's going to go. Now we got Mage throwing down the siege works, preventing the walls from being finished over here. Cleaning up those walls a little bit later. All this has been finished up with. And Mage is now on 0 gold. So Shadowfaxx may be able to make this push happen yet again, while Mage has to restart his gold. Because these camel caravans are getting 28 gold a trip here, which is nothing. And there's no empowering going on. More Colossus coming back in. No mummies here for Mage. He does have 42 Favorer in the bank. So we can make some mummies, but with 0 gold, it's tough. Seeing this fortified town center getting taken down very, very quickly here. It's very close to going down, actually. It's not paying attention that this catapult here is... Whack. One more, 2 more. Stays alive with 50 HP remaining. Jeez, that's close. Well, the market's starting to come back up, and the fortified walls here are up. All these guard towers are here. And Mage deletes his siege works to build this market over here, trying to get it as far as he possibly can to the corner. Now we've got the mummies coming back in, but unlike Hades and Poseidon, like, mummies are a little bit less good against Zeus. Now mummies are like, normally I would prefer Polyphemus or can't remember the name, Perseus, but against Ra here, against the mummies, I prefer Bellerophon to just come in and just one hit. So if you micro the mummy, you can kind of dodge Bellerophon, so that can be sad. There's the Bellerophon running in. And mummy dies anyway, so it doesn't matter. We have Olympic parentage is in. Now Shadowfaxx just trying to push in and kill the market again. Putting more guard towers up. And these 4 gold colossus have got their sights set for this town center here. And Mage doesn't have enough favor to build another mummy. So these are going to be tough to pick off. It's just siege for days here as Shadowfaxx is pushing in. Should be able to take this town center down in no time with these bad boys. There's so much HP, such high hack armor, pierce armor, and even crush armor.
Into you.
And these hoplites, myrmidons will take down the market yet again. Does Mage have architects? He does have architects and mudbrick. It just doesn't matter. Deals so much damage. Talent center goes down yet again. Mage does have a lot of resources in the bank, but just not enough monuments here to deal with these Colossus, as the Colossus push just comes in and kills everything here. Maybe Mage has overdone it on the trade route now. All the markets are gone. The Mage does end up tapping out here in the 37-minute mark. Nice play from Shadowfaxx yet again. Mage made a game of it though. Super close. This is partly why I'm like, I prefer going for the Horus all in, where you just like kind of say, look, I'm not going to be able to beat you in the late game. I'm going to have to get 4 town center advantage here and have no real answer to Colossus. You do sort of have an answer in the Avenger, but no real answer. At least a gold Colossus, the regular Colossus Avengers can come in and sort of clean them up pretty quickly. But if you go for the Horus push, kill off a town center, shifting sands, kill off a town center, and then put everything in here, I feel like you get a little bit more chance to win than if you try and just win the late game with the mass trade route and the mercenary. At least in 5.0. Maybe in 4.0 where the Merc Cav were a bit stronger. Could be a different story, but I don't think so here in 5.0. Looks like Zeus is just a little bit too much of a powerhouse here, at least in this game. And without being able to, maybe if he didn't allow this location to get targeted down so easily, it would have been a different story. But Mage doesn't manage to make it happen. If we check the post-game ad, check the resource total, you can just see, even with all the resource advantage, it just does not matter when the kill loss is so heavily in favor of the Zeus player Shadowfaxx here in this game. Anyways, if you enjoyed this game and you want to see more of them and all the other good stuff, hit that subscribe button on the Twitch if you're on the YouTubes. Sorry. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes. If you're on the Twitch, hit the follow button. You never miss a stream. I'll see you guys in the next game.